Good morning from West Sumatra. Today we'll be doing a Minangkabau tour, visiting a Minangkabau Palace and a Minangkabau village.
Two things synonymous with the Minangkabau is these pretty houses like this one behind me with the roof in the shape of a bull's head, and also the powerful role of women in the society of the Minangkabau ethnic groups. And we'll be starting off this Minangkabau tour from a palace, which was the residence of a former king inside this area of West Sumatra. So now we're at the PAGARUYUNG Palace. It's a huge building inside a massive complex, and we're going to make a short tour around this place and see and learn more about the Minangkabau people.
In Minangkabau, there is no throne for the king. The throne is belong for the mother of the king. We call it Bundo Kandwang.
Big feet and small steps, not a very good combination, so I have to bend my feet to go down. Because these steps were made for the girls. The men weren't allowed to go upstairs. So now, after doing a really detailed tour inside the King's Palace here behind us, we can say that what we said this morning is not quite true, or rather it's a bit different. Like, okay, the women in Minangkabau have got power, but their power extends to things that have got to do with the house, like sort of how things are everywhere else. The women decide what's going to happen inside the house. So the women take care of the house, take care of the family's financial situation and things like that, while the men have the decide on other things within the society. Okay, what we mean to say by more power in society is like they can become politicians. Families may have girls or boys. So here is what happens. If you have girls, basically the girls continue to live with you inside the house. However, the boys of the family, like the sons, they only live within the house until they're 7 years old. Once they're 7 years old, the boys have to move out of the house, go into a communal hall where all the other boys of the village live, and then once they grow older and maybe find a girlfriend and eventually get married, the boys don't move back into their home, but instead they move back in the house of the girlfriend's parents. So girls stay in the house of their family while boys move out and later on end up living in the house of their girlfriend's parents. I hope that makes sense, but that is something interesting in the Minangkabau culture. Bulls are also very important in the Minangkabau culture, like the houses are built in the shape of a bull's head, and the reason why bulls are important is because of a story that happened many years ago. Actually, it's a legend. And what happened is there was these two different tribes, the Minangkabau and another tribe, and the other tribe wanted to take the land of the Minangkabau. However, to settle this argument that they had between them, they decided to fight two bulls against each other. And eventually the Minangkabau bull won, and the person that wanted to come and take the land from the Minangkabau was kicked away because he lost. And this story is something like that anyway. Padang is basically this city where they create this amazing food, and this like sort of the culinary center of all of Indonesia. And because Bukit Tinggi is so close to Padang, the food here is also very good, and in fact some state that the food in Bukit Tinggi is even better than what you actually find in Padang. So we've made it a point that every single day we find a good restaurant and check the food out. So far everything has been great. All the food has been the best we've had so far in Indonesia. And today will be eating at Rumah Sawah Laman, which is this place here behind me. They've got a nice restaurant, that's what we can say so far. Looking over at the rice fields, and we're going to check out what food they have. I think it's sort of like this Padang food, because there's all these dishes behind us here. What I think is common here is you take a platter with a bit of everything.
How to
Yeah?
work? No food, no pay.
What? No food. So I just choose what I want to have. So what happens is you get a whole platter with various different dishes on it, and basically whatever you eat you pay for. If you don't eat it, you don't pay for it. Obviously if you eat a small piece of it, you have to pay for the whole small portion. So that is good. I can get to choose whatever I want just there on the table. The food has been served, and like they've filled all the table with these little dishes here. Like we've got beef, fish, this is fish and chilies, some vegetables there, more vegetables. I think this is an omelette, chicken, dried fish and chilies. I think that is jackfruit in curry sauce. Chicken. Another sort of chicken in a curry. What I will be having for sure is the beef and some fish and probably some chicken, and I think I'll just have to taste a bit of everything and we'll see then. So let's start. I start off with the nice grilled fish. I think it's got some kind of chili on it maybe. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so I'm not sure what fish it is, but definitely it's got a lot of bones in it. It's got a taste of coconut, probably it's been grilled over coconut skins. Very nice light thing to start off with. Now let's try the beef. The beef is, I think it's Cenggang daging, which is a sort of beef rendang. But the liquid is a lot more watery, and the meat that is used is meat with fat inside it, whereas rendang is like more just meat with no fat. This is like the same thing we had yesterday. Not really a good piece of meat, to say the truth. Sorry about this. Okay, then the meat here isn't that great. To say the truth, I'm a bit disappointed about that, because the same thing yesterday just dissolves in my mouth. This is just chewy pieces of fat, which I don't like. So I have to choose something else to replace that, I think. That's rendang, you think?
Yeah.
Let's try the rendang. Hopefully this will be good. So, I've decided not to have any chicken, and in the hope of getting a good piece of beef, I'm going to have what I think is beef rendang. To be honest, after having that beef that wasn't really that great, I don't know what to think about this, but we'll see. And let's try what I think is rendang. I have to confirm that. Yeah, this is rendang. The meat is okay, it's a bit dry, but I think that is very common here for some reason. The sauce is good, very good. So yes, the food here is overall, I would say it's good. It wouldn't, to be honest, I wouldn't come here again. That is the truth. My legs have got all numb from sitting down, crouched down. So, final results for the food. Honestly, not that great. The meat, most of it I didn't eat it. The beef rendang and even the beef something else, which I forgot the name. It wasn't any good meat. So the food here was not really that great. We've just made our way up some very steep hills and passed through a local traditional village. That is Pariangan. And a bit about the place is that Pariangan is a very important village for the Minangkabau people. And one reason is because, according to legend, that is exactly where the Minangkabau culture began. It's sort of the birthplace of this traditional culture here in West Sumatra. And because of its cultural history, Pariangan should be an interesting place to explore, which is what we are going to do now. And apart from that, what we have found, the village is preserved under some government scheme. Although at first sight it didn't look that way. So we'll go and see what we can find now. This here behind us is a house that was just left to rot and has just completely fallen down and is left in ruins here now. One of the key features on the Minangkabau houses are the angin. The angin are these pointy things up here, like the pointed horns of the bull on the top of the house. However, the ones on this house have been chopped off on one side because they were rotting away and the people were afraid that they were going to fall off and hurt somebody. And what is sad about this is that those pointy parts of the house have a very important significance in the Minangkabau and Muslim culture. We're heading to a hot springs nearby to that village we were just in just now. Now I can understand why they call this place the Ubud of Sumatra. We're like literally riding through loads and loads of rice fields, just going down the mountains and views of mountains in the background. This ride is amazing. We've just arrived in the area where the hot springs should be. There's this nice mosque behind us, which is a popular mosque here. But now we need to figure out where these hot springs are, because it seems like nobody knows. Hello, Air Panas? From here? From here? Okay. Okay. From here. So we need to pass from here. However, I've just seen like some sort of pools, but they didn't look really that clean. I'm not sure where we're entering here. There's nude people in there. But
Perempuan mandi.
Mandi?
Iya.
Mandi inte. That was a very awkward situation, so it turns out they're not really hot springs, there's just hot water. And mainly the hot springs I used as a shower. And because I didn't know, there's two showers, there's for the ladies and there's for the men. And I just walked inside of the ladies without knowing, and all I heard was a load of shouting, and I just ran out because I didn't know what was happening. But the thing that I caught from the corner of my eye was like a lady just covering herself up. And now I've understood that there's another bathing place for the men. So that was a very awkward situation. I'm feeling very uncomfortable now. And I'm not sure what we're going to do. I think we'll just go away because I'm not feeling very good.